I'm going to get bulky and I hear it so much. And if you are listening at strength training, again, it goes back to the difference in hypertrophy and strength. If you're training just within strength, then that just makes you a little bit more stronger within your frame.
Hello and welcome to the Fit Minds podcast on Spotify and on YouTube and Apple Podcasts. Coach Mariah Jean here, and we have Coach Matty Harris. Have I got that right?
Hello, yes, absolutely correct.
Lovely to meet you online. It's an interesting space, isn't it, working in this area? So for those who don't know who you are, because obviously our listeners have got no clue who you are, well, maybe they do. Yeah. Can you please introduce yourself to our audience?
Yeah, so I'm Matty Harris. I'm originally from the UK. So in the UK, I work with a wide range of people, including sort of disabilities, people with referrals, so I don't know, like high blood pressure and a list of different sort of issues I've worked with. And then I've sort of done PTing, so dealing with people who's sort of beginner to exercise, which is what you get the most out of. And then I've worked with athletes along the way. And then recently I've just moved to Australia, which has been an interesting sort of transition a little bit. But I'm in a strength conditioning gym working with athletes who want to sort of make it in the world AFL or any sort of sports. And then I've got my online stuff. So I work with people who want to get stronger, who want to get fitter, who want to better themselves in a sport or just in sort of general life. And then along the way, myself personally, I've done sort of lots of endurance events. I've done lots of different team sports, back home football, but soccer here. I've always been sort of done that, and I've always trained within that sort of realm of whatever I'm got coming up, I'm going to train and I'm going to get stronger and I'm going to train specifically for that. So I've got experience doing that myself, and then now I'm coaching. I can then pass that experience and knowledge onto other people, which I really enjoy doing actually. And I enjoy doing the in-person stuff, but I enjoy doing the online stuff as well, because I think it's so valuable for people to do and to train and get stronger and get better.
Yeah. So we're talking about performance-based type of stuff, right? Which is intriguing, because that's my degree is sports performance in nutrition, and so you're kind of like the other piece of the puzzle. So
literally,
component. And obviously, like I think we need to discern the difference too for those listening, is that you don't specifically work with just athletes, because I think sometimes I know you struggle with this. People coming to you asking the question, do you work with everyday people as well as athletes? Like, it's obviously a broad scope you've got here. Yeah.
I think that can be a common thing, where I think strength and conditioning, people hear that and think it's just for elite athletes, or it's just for sort of people who want to be elite athletes. But strength, especially, which we'll probably get into, is for everyone, and doesn't matter what you do, strength is going to benefit you in some way.
Yeah, which leads us into our next question. What is strength training? What are the benefits?
Yeah, so I kind of keep it just really sort of simple. Strengths, just putting your muscles and your body and your nervous system under, challenging it a little bit so it can come back a little bit stronger. That's the sort of simplest way I can put it. And with strength training, I think a lot of people can get mixed with sort of hypertrophy, and it's a little bit different, because with strength training, you're going for quality reps and you're going for higher rest and you're going for a little bit bigger lifts, or sort of your big compound lifts. So it just allows your body to produce a little bit more force, to be a little bit more stronger. And especially people in everyday life, you're looking at making everyday life tasks simpler. So especially when you get older, it's when you're stronger, you can maintain your muscle mass a little bit more, and it's just has so many benefits within that. But yeah, strength training is just challenging your body a little bit to make it come back stronger. And there's a saying I have, it's not adding years onto your life, it's adding life onto your years, which I really like.
Nice. I like that. Yeah. So how would you add that lens to the female demographic? Because obviously when we hear this from, strength trainers, that oftentimes we think, I'm a woman, I don't need that. I don't need to be strong. Yeah. So talk to me about what specifically the benefits are for women, because this is a really popular topic we've found.
Yeah, I think for obviously women as well, it's massive, because for anyone to get stronger, it's like I say, if it just makes them everyday life's tasks a little bit easier. But especially if it's women who's just been through pregnancy, looking at that. So improving specifically sort of your core muscles can just make that transition to post-pregnancy a little bit easier, because obviously a lot of change comes, and I've not been through it myself, obviously, but obviously I'm postnatal trained as well, so I've worked with pregnant women, and the better you can have that strength in sort of your internal muscles, and then post-pregnancy becomes a little bit easier, and you can get back to sort of everyday sort of training how you were before a little bit quicker. So especially in that aspect, it's really important. But sort of for women in general, just looking at sort of getting stronger, if you've got kids and stuff, just that everyday life just becomes a lot easier, especially for women, but for everyone listening. And that's what strength training can really benefit you in. But I think that especially the sort of the pregnancy aspect of it, it can be so important as well.
Yeah. I suppose every single phase of life, really, and preventing injury, and I suppose too, you get those women that come to you and they're like, gosh, I'm falling apart. I've got all sorts of things, and my knee's not working properly, and my back's hurting, and we know that all translates to, you know, strength and needing that component. Yeah.
And another thing as well is posture. I think, again, going back to pregnancy, but just in general, I think a lot of people can sort of struggle with posture, and they can struggle with flexibility, and strength training helps both of them things. It helps you to be a little bit sturdier in your frame, and it allows you to be a little bit more sort of around the hips area and the glutes, but can get really tight. Strength training can help with that too. So it has so many benefits, and I think as well, a lot of people don't touch on it, but it's the mental benefits that strength has as well. It's that improved sleep, it's that reducing anxiety, it's that reducing stress. So if you do have a busy life, it's, can I just have an hour to myself where it's just me, headphones on, and I'm doing something what's better than just me and me only, so it can improve that. And then I look at socially as well, if some people train with the partner, the friend, and it's a chance to just have an hour with that person where you might not talk to them too much. It might be life, where you together do a little bit of training, and it can be a social thing as well. So you've got that physical, social, and mental benefits that strength training has as well.
Love that. Very good. So on that note, what are some of the misconceptions around female strength training? Like, there's obviously a lot of assumptions that people make before going into it. Let's break it down. Yeah.
The biggest one, I hear it so many times. I heard it yesterday as well. Is it, I'm going to get bulky, and I'm going to, I hear it so much. And if you are listening, strength training, again, it goes back to the difference in hypertrophy and strength. If you're training just within strength, then that just makes you a little bit more stronger within your frame. And over time, I'm not saying you're going to add a little bit of muscle mass, but the thing with strength is you can just produce more force, more strength in the frame that you are, and that's what strength is. Obviously, if you're training hypertrophy, you're probably going to add a little bit of muscle on, but you're not going to suddenly, after a couple of sessions of a month doing strength training, be huge on the upper body, which I think a lot of people think as well. So like I say, well, maybe I'll probably touch on it, but the difference between that strength training and hypertrophy is the strength training is sort of looking at your big compound lifts and just improving your mechanics and doing exercises that combine sort of a couple of different muscle groups, which isn't going to make you bulky. And even I've been doing strength training for 14-15 years, and my arms are still there. That it's not gonna do that. So but what I am, I'm strong within my frame, and that's exactly what I train for.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, strength does not translate to a extremely high muscle mass for your frame.
No.
It does have to be quite purposeful to achieve that result.
Yeah, it does. Yeah.
In my bodybuilding history, it takes a lot of effort.
Yeah, God, yeah.
Realize. So, and certainly, I think on the note of, you know, getting bulky and growing and things like that, female bodies are not designed to grow significant amounts of thick muscle tissue. We know they're more optimized for even type 1 muscle fiber building. So cardio-based activities, we've seen some of the best performing athletes in the world who are runners and ultra runners being women. So yeah, we're not designed that way. So not going to happen by accident, as you said. I think another one too, I might add to that, we don't have to train in the gym. Like, questions around that, because we get that quite common, is that, well, do I have to have a gym membership? Talk to me about what's possible. Yeah,
so I always go to the sort of what you enjoy as well. So if you don't like being in a gym setting, then the chances of you keeping that up in the gym, if you don't like being in that setting, is you're probably not going to happen. So you kind of got to do what works for you. You can do sort of home workouts. You could do body weight. It depends where you are as a person and your strength levels. But like you see, you've got your home. You could do workouts there if that works for you around a busy schedule. And outside training as well. You've got, and you can do different types of training to improve that. I think you obviously got sort of boot camps where it's not that traditional gym, but you've got sort of fitness classes, boot camps. I know like Pilates is big now, so I know a lot of women enjoy that Pilates aspect as well. So it doesn't have to be, I'm going to go on my own to a gym, because I think that's where a lot of people and women can sort of drop out, because it's just gets a little bit tedious, gets boring. So there is different ways that you can test your nervous system and get stronger without going to a gym.
Yeah, love that. It doesn't work for everybody. It's not the same conventional approach. Yeah. On that note, Pilates, what's your thoughts on Pilates? I know I've got mine, but
I actually tried Reformer about 3 weeks ago for the first time since coming to Australia, and it was a humbling experience. I trained, like I say, I've trained all my life in strength, but nothing could ever prepare me for that. The balance was off. Maybe I wasn't as strong as I thought, but it's completely different, and I loved it. I think doing it, I'm so glad I've done it, because I've seen the benefits of the balance aspect is massive. The sort of the coordination, the mobility part, but mainly, like I touched on before, is the core strength. It's emphasized on core, improving your breathing, which again for women is so important in certain parts of the life. So improving that core strength and improving that sort of mobility, I thought was really good. And as much as I thought it was difficult a little bit, I really enjoyed it, and I can see why a lot of people do it as well.
Yeah, certainly. I think there's definitely been a massive wave of popularity with Pilates. And most importantly, I think that if you are going to do it, we probably just encourage them, whoever's doing it, to incorporate strength training as well as Pilates.
What's your thoughts on it? What's your...
I think there's a lot of, like anything that, makes its way through the fitness industry and nutrition industry, there's always fads that come through where there's hype around things like, at the moment it's collagen, which is a big giant flop. There's not evidence behind it, but certainly with Pilates, I've done podcasts on it before. I think if someone is doing Pilates 6 days a week, they probably need to ramp it up and add in something else. But I think if they're really enjoying that social component, I believe that it can complement a strength training program and even, for example, cardio bouts as well. As you said, beneficial for mobility. It's a little bit more exciting than just plain stretching. And certainly the core component, as you mentioned as well. So I'm in agreement with you. I just think that it needs to work in conjunction with other styles of training.
I agree. I agree.
So the next question on that note, how often should a woman be doing weights or strength training weekly? Like, talk to me what your ideal scenario would be.
Yeah, ideally, because I understand obviously people's got sort of busy lives, and sometimes 1 week you might only get an hour, the next week you might get quite a few. But ideally, you're probably looking at maybe 3 or 4 sessions is what I normally say, 3 or 4 sessions a week, and obviously just mixing them sessions up. So one day could be your sort of lower body strength, upper body strength, and maybe a full body for that 3rd day, and then the 4th day could be a core conditioning day. Again, it depends what you're aiming for. It depends if what your goals are. You can obviously put a little bit more time into that specific day, and you could do more of them. Ideally, I like to say maybe hitting it twice a week. So if you're doing lower body strength, trying to do twice a week, even if that means combining up and low in the same day. But yeah, I'd say 3 to 4 sessions a week, making sure that them 3 to 4 sessions, you've got the recovery between, so you're not hitting like a lower body and then doing it again the next day. I think that's probably what I say would be the ideal scenario, is like 3 or 4 times a week and mixing them sessions up as well.
Yeah, it's very much aligned with the way that I would approach things as well.
Yeah.
And as you said, it depends on the person's phase of life circumstances.
It does, yeah.
So yeah, the smaller the children, the smaller the humans are, probably the least amount of sessions you're going to fit
exactly,
in.
Yeah.
But no, that's fantastic. Love that recommendation. So with regards to athletes and the ones that you're working with, because I see obviously you've got some, as you said, AFL athletes, all sorts of stuff that you're doing, which is so interesting. What's the most common mistake you see athletes making every day?
I think athletes and sort of the general I would have two different ones. I think the athlete is, I don't know, I think sometimes not knowing why they're doing something, I think can be a thing where I think athletes can get told we're going to do this, this, and this today, but not actually understanding what they need to do. And I think with athletes as well, they can sometimes, what I see, they can have the training down, they can have that perfect, but if you're not doing the stuff away from the training, like your recovery, like your sleep, making sure that you're eating the correct things, it can really detriment your sort of training benefits from that. Right. So athletes and just sort of people who's not even in a sport, if you're training, just making sure that you're doing all the right stuff behind it, because sometimes the training can take a little bit of a hit if you're not sleeping right, if you're not eating right, if you're not doing all the right stuff beyond that. And another thing I'd say, which I'll probably want to touch on, and I think especially for women as well, is social media as well. I think a lot of women can go on social media and compare themselves to a lot of people, and this is a huge problem, especially in the UK. I don't know what, can't gauge it too well in Australia at the moment, but especially in the UK, a lot of women, and especially girls who are like younger, can see results from an athlete or a person, and they don't know how they got there. They don't know the lighting that was in that room that day, and all these pictures that get put out are not the reality sometimes. And you've then got like women and girls comparing themselves to that and thinking, well, I want to get there, and it's not a true reflection. So I think a big mistake is comparing yourself to other people instead of just comparing yourself to how you were the day before. That's the most important. If you're better than you were the day before, or the month before, the year before, then that's all you need to compare yourself to. And I think that's a big mistake people can make, is comparing yourself to other people and not yourself.
Yeah, love that. It is very common working with women. It's like a silent competitiveness that shouldn't exist.
Yeah.
And as you said, like, things are distorted, reality is distorted. And we're not even considering things like regular menstrual function. Like, are these people, you know, they may look picture perfect, but what is underneath the surface? Yeah, it's pretty scary stuff, actually. So, okay, I love the one with the mistake as well, because I would answer the same. People, you know, respectively, really overdoing it. Like, choosing to constantly, you know, pick a stimulus for whatever reason. I've got to train more, I've got to train harder, I've got to train longer, I've got to add in more exercises. And I always say more is not more, and just because you can doesn't mean you should.
100%, I agree.
Yeah. All right, so the next question, what exercise stimuli does conditioning refer to? Because I don't really work much in the space of conditioning prescription, but I'd like to know for yourself, conditioning, what does that mean to you, and what does it refer to?
So conditioning is sort of improving your heart health, your lung health, and improving your general fitness. Now, the difference that you can make is, say I'm working with athletes, we look at their sport and we look at what they need, what part of the conditioning do they need the most out of, and we'll work towards that. But if you're just someone who wants to get a little bit fitter in different ways, there's different ways you can go for conditioning. So another mistake I see people make is they want to get fitter, so they'll go for a run, but they hate running. They hate it. So I'm like, well, why do you run? Do you like swimming? Yeah, I like swimming. Well, go and swim. There's different ways you can condition your body. You could do sort of a long effort in maybe a swim or a run, or you could do a circuit class. Again, if you just want to get a little bit fitter, you can do that in different ways. You can improve your conditioning in different ways. So again, that goes back to what you enjoy. But yeah, it's just that function of, again, testing your nervous system in a certain way, improving your aerobic and anaerobic capacity, just to make sure that you are a little bit fit and you can sustain a little bit more in terms of everyday life, where you can walk a bit longer, run a bit longer, not feel as exhausted afterwards. That's what I would, again, in the simplest term with conditioning, that's what I'd say. But it can be done in many different ways as well.
Yeah, right. So cardiovascular based exercise, endurance types. Yeah.
So you've got that shorter burst, maybe where people do circuit classes. People enjoy that, and that's really good. But then people like going for a long walk, a long hike. But if you can, I'd say maybe mix them up between certain weeks, where one week you might be hitting your higher zones a little bit and just touching that sort of zone 4 threshold a little bit, because that can be really beneficial to hit the higher zones and sustain a little bit of effort in them. And then the next week it could just be a longer sort of aerobic workout where you could be just going for a slow run. But again, if it's just you're not training for something specifically, try and mix it up and try and hit them all zones and spend time in them zones too.
Yeah, love that. A little bit of variety.
Yeah.
So for yourself, or I suppose the way that we would describe this, we've kind of touched on it previously, but what's more important? Less workouts done more efficiently and recovery, so better recovery, focusing on that, or more workouts done as often as possible with less recovery time in between?
There's only one winner, and that is the the sort of recovery one, because if you're someone who's thinks more training is better, then again, if you're doing 6 or 7 sessions a week or whatever that may be and not recovering, you're not allowing your body to do what it needs to do to actually get better and improve. Because the thing with training, strength or hypertrophy, whichever one you're doing, but predominantly strength, is you want to be doing quality reps and allowing a rest in session to improve, but then away from the sessions between them, you want to be resting, because the thing with strength is all about progression, and you want to be progressing your weight and progressing how much force you can deliver, and you can't do that without sort of resting and recovering from there as well. So
I always refer to it as the micro and the macro. You've got to have enough recovery in between sets, and then you've got to also have enough recovery in between the macro, the larger environment. Yeah,
exactly. And without that, your strength becomes like you can't grow, and you can't get stronger without that as well. So it's so important.
Yeah, love that. Very good. So maybe 2 rest days a week at least, like full?
Yeah. So again, you could sort of you look at your week and see, am I getting enough rest between them days? But yeah, you could look at sort of doing lower body, and then the next time you hit lower body could be at least 2 days, and it's just giving you a chance to recover between your next one as well.
Muscle grows at rest.
Yeah, it does. It's the most important thing.
Yeah. That's probably the most common thing I see too. People just training, either not training at all or training 6 days a week, 7 days.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Okay, so next question. What is your perfect split? Because I want to, obviously we've talked about this, and you get this question all the time, what's the perfect split for a woman? This is probably a really difficult question to answer, because it obviously depends.
Exactly,
an everyday woman versus maybe we'll use a hybrid athlete.
Okay, so for everyday woman, if like I say, it depends on what sessions you got, but if you can, obviously just hit in them strength sessions twice a week if you can. So if you've got 3 sessions and you just want to focus on strength predominantly, you could do a lower body, an upper body, and a full body.
Yeah.
So you could take 2 exercises that you like from the most of the lower and upper and put them into one session and combine it. So that's your 3-day week one. Again, if you've only got 3 sessions a week and you want to do more hybrid, you could do 2 full bodies, obviously separated, and then you could incorporate that sort of conditioning day, core day. Again, it's different. If you've got 4 days a week, you can then sort of split you don't have to do full body. You could do a lower, upper, and full. So again, it just depends how many days a week you've got. But ideally for me, 2 strength sessions, 2 or 3 strength sessions a week. And then if you want to incorporate more conditioning, more of your hybrid stuff, then that's ideal as well.
Yeah. And I suppose it really depends on what outcome they're chasing, right? What's important to the person.
Exactly. Yeah.
I often get asked that question, should I be doing cardio? Should I be running? And I often ask, is that a goal? Are you wanting to improve your cardiovascular health? And the other thing too is with, fitting in what you can, and obviously what's feasible, as you said, what's enjoyable, and is there a reason behind what you're doing, as you said too before. So this is all logical stuff.
It's finding out why. I think a lot of people know what they kind of want, but not sure how to get there. And they'll do something that they'll see again, maybe the comparison thing, but maybe see other people who's in the shape that they want to be and see what they're doing, but their goals might not be what you think they are. And you've got to have a why of why am I doing it, what am I doing it for, and how am I going to get there. And sometimes people just need a little bit of guidance with that, I think, as well. But again, if you just want to get stronger, and you've only got 2 or 3 sessions a week, use them for strength. Don't use that crucial time that you might have free in the week to do something that isn't aligning fully with your goals and something you might not enjoy. So match your time and your crucial time that you might have in the week towards what you actually want to achieve.
Yeah, love that. And I think the thing that you're kind of getting at too, which is something that I often preach, is aim for more strength sessions than you do endurance, even if you're an endurance athlete, right?
Yeah, 100%. Yeah.
Like the foundations of my postgraduate degree was understanding that, you might have a marathon runner, you might have a triathlete, you might have an MMA fighter, and it's like, then they still need to spend time getting strong.
Well, I've been there. I've done sort of like other events and marathons in the past, and people's like, how much running are you doing? And I might say I'm doing this amount of running, and they'll say I'm doing my strength as well. I'm sacrificing miles on the road, on the path, with an hour of strength, because I think I can do the miles, but it's the strength that I really need, and it's that injury resilience that is going to become crucial, and it's that strong tendons, strong bones that is going to probably help us more than going out and using that hour for the run as well. So you've got to combine them quite well too.
Yeah, oftentimes the intervention that you're having to take with an athlete is pulling back on the sessions that are probably not super useful and replacing them with good old strength sessions.
Yeah, it is.
But it works. Yeah, awesome. Okay, so if you could give one piece of advice to anyone starting out with strength training, what would it be?
I think it's just to get started. So maybe, again, if you're not sure what you're doing, and get some help. So whether that could be a coach, or so get help and establish your goals straight away, establish what you're doing it for, establish your goals, and speak to someone. If you're not sure, speak to someone who can align them goals for you and give you an appropriate program for your goals. And again, it's doing stuff you really enjoy. Like I've said it, it was, if you don't like, I don't know, for example, if you're not someone who likes resistance machines, will you like free weights a little bit more? Yes. If so, we'll do more free weights. Don't feel like you're trapped in, I'm going to go to the gym and this is the only way I'm going to get stronger. There's loads of other ways you can get stronger. There's loads of other places you can get stronger. And there's, again, ways that you can make it more enjoyable, because I've seen it loads of times where it's a chore for people to go to the gym. And for me and you, I love to, and that's my time. And I found a way that I really enjoy my training, and I look forward to my training. And that's where you want to be. If you don't have that, you're going to probably miss it. I don't know, 3-4 weeks, you're probably not going to want to go anymore. So it's finding something that works for you around your lifestyle, finding something you enjoy, and finding a structure that, again, works and you enjoy it. And that's how you're going to keep it up, and that's how you're going to keep progressing through.
Yeah. Choose something that's sustainable, right?
Exactly that. Yeah.
Love that. Awesome. Okay. So thank you very much for the bit larger part of the podcast. We're going to get towards it now, and I always do a fun round. Some people, it's funny, I've interviewed people before, and I've done this last round, and some people have no idea why I do it, but it's all good and well to talk science and facts, and we want to connect with people. We want people to get to know you a little bit, maybe judge you a little bit on your choices. I don't know.
I'm probably going to get judged. I'm ready to be judged.
Look, that's just what Aussies do. That's what we do.
Yeah.
Let's do a quick 10. All right. So you're not prepared for this, by the way. Like, I didn't tell you what I was going to ask you. So this is going to be interesting. Coffee or tea?
If I don't usually drink, but it would be tea.
You're kidding. I was going to say, how English of you.
First judgment here, I don't drink really hot drinks, but if I was going to have one, it'd be a cup of tea.
Okay, there you go. Wake up early or sleep in?
Recently, it's been sleeping, late night sleeping.
Yeah, very good. I actually didn't think that. I thought you'd be like an early riser or something.
I can be if I want to be. It's just I've been really enjoying my lie-ins recently, so I've just been embracing that enjoyment.
I'm team sleep in every day.
Yeah.
Pizza or pasta?
Pasta.
Pasta, okay.
That's really close.
Getting back to those European origins, huh? Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. I suppose they're both European, to be honest.
Yeah, both same country as well, but I love the pasta part.
There you go. Okay, dogs or cats?
Dogs.
Dogs, nice. Okay, you've got there's one brownie point there.
Yeah.
Weights or cardio?
Oh, that's close.
This isn't about what you should be doing. I want to know like what you actually really like.
Oh yeah. I like my cardio.
I was going to say, I was thinking you might like your cardio. Yeah. It's that high that it gives you, right? The dopamine. Yeah.
Like after a run, it's just no feeling like it.
Yeah, I used to run myself 10K a day, and I still can't really compare anything else to the runner's high. Yeah. Yeah. Okay, city or country?
What do you mean? My favorite?
Yeah, like which one would you prefer to live in?
Are we going just in Australia or anywhere?
He's thinking into it. Let's say, for example, like Sydney versus where you are now, Gold Coast.
I
wouldn't call Gold Coast city, to be honest.
Yeah, no. I'd say city.
Really? What's the reason behind that?
I don't know. I just too far. I don't know if I like being around a city, maybe just on the outskirts. I don't like being too far into a city. I like sort of having it there, but like where I'm from, I'm just outside a city, which I quite like, and I've always liked that.
Yeah. All right. Movies or books?
Movies.
Wow. Okay. There you go. Summer or winter?
Summer. 100% summer.
Australia.
Yeah, I've done enough harsh winters in the UK to last us a lifetime. I'm not a winter guy.
We complain a lot here about the weather, if you haven't noticed.
Yeah, well, everyone's saying about the summer, and I'm like, I can't wait for the summer, but I feel like it might be another humbling one because everyone's like, it's so hot here.
It does get, it gets extremely hot, but I think, you acclimatize. And I mean, I've been in when there was a heat wave, and that was disgusting. So yeah,
I love the heat. I do like it, to be fair.
Yeah. Stay in or go out?
Depends how I feel. Stay in, I think. I like a sort of little series or just a chill with friends or whatever like that. Enjoy that.
Yeah. And chocolate or lollies?
Chocolate.
Chocolate. Interesting.
Yeah, I like a bit of chocolate.
Is it the pre-training fuel? Is that what chocolate is?
It's my treat. I'll have a little treat after. Just if I feel like it, I'll just a little bit of chocolate or a biscuit. And
a biscuit. You really are English, aren't you?
I am, yeah. Without the cup of tea.
Yeah, there's nothing better. It's when you know that you're getting into your older years is when you start to really enjoy a cuppa and a bicky.
Yeah.
Oh, awesome. All right. Well, before we head off and finish the podcast episode, it's been an absolute pleasure. Can you please drop your social handles, Instagram, TikTok? Shoot.
Yeah, so Instagram is elite.edge2. And my TikTok is more sort of around netball, so I've got into that realm of training, so strength conditioning. So that is elite.edge netball. I'm just going to double check that because I could be completely wrong about that, but yeah, it's elite
stuff pop up. It's been interesting to watch. Yeah,
it's it is interesting, but yeah, elite.edge netball with the TikTok.
Elite.edge netball.
Yeah.
Check him out, guys. There's some stuff I've never even seen done to condition things like hip flexors. I saw that came up today, which is fascinating.
Yeah, it's I enjoy making them because I'm like, these are maybe things people haven't seen. So I'm always trying to get stuff out there, little tips and tricks. So try my best.
Very, very helpful. Thank you so much, Maddie. It's been an absolute pleasure chatting with you. And can't wait to have you back on. Yeah, awesome. Thank you so much. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Thanks.